Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Footy Express show. And tonight we are the hot topic that's on everyone's lips, and that is Arsenal Football Club, aka they call them the Banter FC. That's what they call Arsenal Football Club these days. It's everywhere on social media. It's everywhere on the news. It's just Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal Football Club. But tonight we have Guna brother, Glenwin. Welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, cool. We also have Wolfie, the man, the brother, aka Wolfman. Welcome to the show once again, Wolfie.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Pleasure always being here.
Always, always. And my top gunner, Ashraf, the main man, the Hulk, the Rock, the top gunner, Ashraf. Welcome, my brother.
It's always a pleasure being here. Good evening, everybody.
So, guys, we're gonna start the show. Obviously, tonight's show, guys, if you just tune in, we are discussing Arsenal Football Club. I just want to say thank you, everyone. Please, that is not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We need your support. We need up to 1,000 subscribers in the next 3 months. So please, whoever's watching the show, we're still gonna watch the show. Please subscribe to our channel and also like our Instagram page and also our Facebook. Guys, support local. Okay, support local. If you love football and you're from South Africa, it doesn't matter where in South Africa it is, support local, subscribe to our channel. Okay, so on to tonight's discussion. Okay, we're gonna start from the beginning, guys, when it comes to Arsenal Football Club. Okay, so just want to get there. So it started with Arsenal Football Club, the glory days at Highbury. Okay, you guys can remember. Glenwin, just tell me a short story in about 1 minute. Okay, your experience of your days at Highbury.
Well, I know Ivory with the likes of the Lee Dixons, the Tony Adams, the Vieiras, the Teeds, Henri, them, and being such a small premises, but so much huge news came from that club. There were so many won there, trophies that was won there. And the one thing I can remember was the Liverpool, I think it was a Liverpool final, FA final, a semi-final, where Berkham was sent off with a red card. I think he tackled somebody and somebody from the crowd said or threw something at him and he retaliated and he got a red card for that. And still we went on and I think we got a result from there. And that is the sort of history that I can remember. There was fight that came from Highbury, and the fight that we had there, and the fight that we lack fight now. So the players that played from that side in the Highbury era, they brought joy to a fan like myself. And I mean, I had still my first topper I had was the Dreamcast Arsenal top. And you know what? I'm not an Arsenal fan since the 70s because I'm born in the 70s, but I became an Arsenal fan as long as I can remember thereafter. And only joy was part of being a fan for them. So Highbury was one of the first premises that I wanted to go to. I failed. I couldn't go, unfortunately, but hopefully next year I can go to the Emirates. But there's a lot of joy that came from there, and the word joy, it sort of sums up what happened at Highbury. Guys from London, and I know they obviously told me a lot of stories about Highbury. But yeah, that's a story for another day. So the word that comes from when I think of hybrid was joyous.
Cool. Ashraf, just quickly, your memories. Give me your memory quickly of your days as at Hybrid Stadium.
Yeah, basically, my first memory of Arsenal was 1989. I was 7 years old. I was a pikkertjie watching with a lot of adults. Arsenal won the league, having to win 2-0 against Poole. That time I was like, about Arsenal. And then when I really became a gunner, George Graham days, we were the famous back four, but you could have called them a back six because we had backup on the bench. We had three world-class centre backs:
Steve
Paul,
Ball.
Keown Adams. We had Dixon, Winterburn, Anders Limpa, such guys. And then we went into a small bit of a lull. Bruce Rioch. I remind me by van Arteta, but somehow Arteta is lasting much longer. And then from Bruce Rioch, we went into the Wenger era. Those were the happy days for me at Highbury. Even when we didn't win the league, we were competitive. We were finishing second. We were challenging for everything. We were in Europa. That time it was UEFA Cup. Lost to Galatasaray, I think, 99 or something. Champions League, we were just bombing. Highbury was good. Highbury was joyous. It brought us the famous back four. It brought us the Thierry Henry. It brought us Robert Pires. And even the guys that were shit shows who came to Highbury somehow found that extra fight, that extra spirit. I mean, we used to play with your Giroux and your, what is it, other centre backs name? Anyway, Stepano, sulke ouens. But I mean, that's guys that you can rely on now. We've got 30, 35 million players, guys with big ass salaries at the Emirates, but they're more into Instagram. That's why, I mean, Highbury, as Alguna says there, it was joyous. For me, Highbury just reminds me of fight and spirit. So I'll put it in two words: fighting spirit. That is what we had when we were there.
Oh, Wolfie, just quickly.
Yes, sir. Quickly, Highbury was it was a environment where no one wanted to visit us. We had players that was like giants. We had players that had technical ability. We had it all. We had leaders. We had fighters. We had gladiators. Teams would come to Highbury and we would suffocate them. We would choke the living daylights out of them. Teams wouldn't go home with any points in the bag when they came to Highbury. We would murder teams. We would annihilate them. If there's such a lot of memories. One of the memories that has always stayed with me was the memory of when we played Man United and the ball came into Thierry Henry and he had his back towards goal and he flicked that ball up. He just flicked it up with the right and with the left or the right. He turned and he knocked it. And all what Bartis could do was admire that stunning, beautiful goal. And we managed to beat them 1-0. The last memory was the hat trick against Wigan, the last day of the season. That also lives in my heart, where Thierry Henry scored a hat trick and he kissed the ground. That was our last game at Highbury. But yeah, it was joyful memories to be a gunner at that time, as Ashraf says. Amazing time.
Yeah, no. So, guys, a lot of things have changed at Arsenal Football Club. A lot of things. Okay, a lot of things have changed since then. Okay, I think for my memory, look, it's not any of the games, but the day when David Dean left Arsenal Football Club. That's where I believe Arsenal Football Club started their decline. When David Dean left the club, he's the reason why Arsenal Football Club in many years is the reason why they have success. He's the reason why Arsene Wenger was basically employed at
Yep.
Arsenal Football Club. Arsene who? They questioned David Dean. Who is this guy? Who is this guy coming here, coming from China or whatever to come manage such a big football club like Arsenal? And David Dean had a lot of, obviously, a lot of influence the club until they got this man
Gazidis.
at the club.
Gazidis.
Okay.
Absolutely useless.
Now, tonight's show was all about statements at Arsenal Football Club. Statements of previous people that was at Arsenal Football Club and the current. So at that time, you guys can comment on this statement. When we move from Highbury to the Emirates, we're gonna, as we look to the next 2 3 years, we will have an outstanding platform on which to compete with any other club in the world. Wolfie, have your
Yeah,
say quickly on Kadia's
probably
statement.
not on the soccer field.
Yeah, it was the yeah, that was basically that was the biggest lie of the century. I mean, we went from Highbury competing for titles, winning titles, doubles, and we went to the Emirates and we basically sold all our top class players to but yet we still managed to compete, but we were still falling down at a rapid pace, and that was just a lot of lies that came out of this guy's mouth. They never ever funded Wenger to. I mean, money only came when we bought Özil and Sanchez, but then the decline was too late. It was a rapid decline. Those players were good players coming in, but it wasn't what was promised. What was promised was we were going to compete against Chelsea, we were going to compete against clubs like Barcelona, but the funding wasn't there, and it was difficult for Wenger to do what he could do. He could only do with what he had, and it was at the end of the day, Wenger reached his end through guys like this guy Gazidis. He was one of the guys that put the nail on the guy's coffin.
So just a question though. Currently, he is at AC Milan, right? AC Milan is doing well since Kadias has actually been employed at AC Milan. They're actually coming back of being the old AC Milan. But Ma- so Ashraf, do you think Stan Kroenke has a big part to play in this? Basically, maybe they did have a plan of competing with the best clubs in the world. But remember, I don't think Kroenke was at that time at also when we built Emirates, if I'm correct. The stadium was sponsored by the airline. That's why it's called the Emirates. Do you think, Ashraf, that the Kroenke family plays a big part in this decline, basically? Maybe we could have competed if Diaz wasn't, Kroenke didn't buy the club.
Um, I think if you look at it nowadays, a lot of focus is on things like revenue and ownership and stuff like that. But I remember watching football back in the day, in the early 2000s, in the 90s. We didn't know, we hardly knew the people in the background was. We didn't know about owners and where shares and who paid this and who got that. That all the media brought that into place. For me, over the last few years, okay, although, I mean, at the end of the day, these guys buy this for a business. They don't have to be involved in the club and show that passion and whatever. But I believe in the last 3 to 4 years, they have funded the club enough. It's just the thing where it comes in, the person at the helm is not the right person. They're talking
Yeah.
about a project this and a project this and a process this and a process that. Well, if you had a competent coach there like Conte or even a Mourinho that can mold the kids, that can run this project, then it would be cause for optimism. But for me, a big mistake is having an inexperienced manager like Arteta, who's proven it now. Like, he hasn't shown that he'll be able to manage this youth. We could buy a whole crash or a whole under 20 team of Messi's and Ronaldo's. He hasn't shown that he has got the grit or he can install, as you said, leadership. We don't have a captain. I mean, we don't have a first 11, and it all starts with a coach. It all starts with his management team. So if I mean Kroenke is back now financially, but I don't know who's going to make the final decision when it comes to the coach. Initially, we were all up in arms because of the Kronkers and them doing this and they're not there and they're not doing that. But for me, at the end of the day, when you a shareholder or your majority shareholder in the business, as the people that you placed in those positions to delegate these duties to. I mean, the thing is with Wenger, he could do everything from top to bottom.
Yeah.
But I think there had to be a succession plan when they had to know that this was going to be Wenger's last season. A management team or a manager or backroom staff had to be groomed for this handover, for this period. Because I mean, we can't, no matter what we can want to say, for 15 years, 20 years, Arsenal was Arsene Wenger. But then the fact that we shifted, I mean, we found out 3 months or 2 months before he left, he's leaving. You know what I mean? So there was no time for a succession plan. And I think that is where the Kronkers and I think Kazidas was still there. That is the big thing that we missed. That was massive.
Glenwin, do you think
Yes,
in
sir.
this statement, that Arsenal Football Club had a plan? I mean, they're a big club, a big organization. These are guys that used to run big businesses, or big football clubs. Do you think they had a plan at that time? I mean, this is a big statement, eh? This is a huge statement. Do you think they had a plan at that time,
Now
or was it
look,
just all lies?
all entities or businesses should have an objective and they should have a plan. I mean, when before this guy came in, there was a family vibe, and you spoke about Dean. Before Dean left, that family vibe was all at the Ivory, and before they transitioned to the Emirates. Now, I think to listen to a statement like that, outstanding platform on which to compete with any club in the world. Yes, they had a plan to compete with any club in the world, but only by profits because the focus
Yeah,
was on
because
profit.
on the field, we already competing with the best clubs in the world at Highbury when it comes to on the
Exactly.
pitch.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that platform that he's talking about, or the which to compete, it's not based on the football itself because Arsenal is a huge club in England. They're one of the oldest clubs in England, in Europe for that, and to compete with the likes of the Bayerns, the Barcelonas, and the Reals, and the AC Milan. You mentioned AC Milan as well. So even then, the board was that we had wasn't fan based. They didn't care about the fans. They didn't care about what the fans would want. That had that family vibe at the Highbury. And coming to the Emirates, saying that there's going to be huge differences in the next 2-3 years, and platforms that they're going to compete on, the highest, the biggest club in the country or in Europe. That is not based on fans, what the fans want, what the team really needs. It's based on what sort of, I mean, even since then, the club were looking at profits. They didn't spend money, they didn't spend here and there, they only looked at what they can gain. And then the Cronkies came in, and obviously it went worse than his outlook is profiting. And that is
Yeah, I
where
mean,
we as fans, as fallen down in the pecking order, becoming part of the club because we don't have a voice in the club.
yeah, look,
Yeah.
if anyone that's not an Arsenal supporter, or even if you're Arsenal supporter, the great invincible teams was sold within a season, 1 season. And I think the only players that was left was Jens Lehmann and Sol Campbell. I think that, if I'm correct, that was the only two players left of the invincible team. Del Clinchy, yes, he was sold to Man City. It was, I mean, to sell probably the one of the best teams at that time in the world with off in a season. I'm sorry, you I don't think you can come back even after 2 seasons. When I mean, you built all the years, and those guys were still in a nice age though. If you
And
look
they
at
were
those,
worth it.
yeah, they could have still played for 5 seasons and still compete to the best. Why? I don't understand. Why didn't they keep them at the Emirates for 5 seasons and play from there? But yeah, we sold our best player at Arsenal's history for 16 million to
Yeah.
Barcelona. I mean, that time was probably a lot of money. I mean, if you get a guy like Pepe coming for 72 million, and you check Henry was sold to Barcelona for 16 million. I mean, it's times have changed really. But moving on from there, as Arsenal Wenger was fired, everyone knows. Look, there's people that don't agree that he didn't overstay. You know, you get this Arsene Wenger fans. Everyone love Arsene Wenger, but everyone know he overstayed, right? So they employed. Good evening, Unai Emre. Can I tell you what? Before I'm gonna come there, okay? I think he's a brilliant manager. Yes, at the time he was drawing over 20 games, I think, but we did not lose. We were hard to beat under Unai Emre. But what happened here was this guy, Ivan Cadiz, when they employed Unai Emre, right? He left to AC Milan
He jumped
within a
ship, yeah.
month or two.
Yeah.
He
I
jumped
mean,
ship.
how do you? His statement was Ivan Gadia says that there will be more transfer market activities this summer as Unai Emre builds a squad to compete in the Premier League next season, but insists that the Spaniard will uphold the Arsenal values of developing young talent.
Yeah.
And you know what? He did it because he brought in Martinelli, right? He brought in Guendouzi and he brought in Saliba. Three talented,
Saka as well.
upcoming world-class players,
And
right? He
Pepe was
did that.
forced on him.
Yes.
Yeah, but you
He signed,
also
he signed um, Torreira, also one of the best, highly rated youngsters at the time we signed him. Who did we sign still? Unai Emre.
look. We
Um,
gotta understand, Nigel. When Casillas left, that's when the guy from Barcelona came in, Sanelli.
okay.
He came in with Edu, and Edu came in at Edu joined 2019, July 2019, and it was Edu that brought in Martinelli, and we worked
Yeah.
together with Sanelli to bring in Guendouzi, Saliba, um, Torreira, those kind of guys. That was at the start. Like they said,
Yeah.
they wanted a developing team. So it was basically a team built on youngsters. Where we got in Saliba, he was young.
And they were brilliant.
Guendouzi, they were good, and we have to give credit to Emery because, like Ashraf said, he's the guy that gave Saka the chance, the first team chance, and we all
Yep.
questioned it. Who is this boy? And we could see this boy is looking like something decent here. It was his first season. He was raw, but Emery he put his faith in that boy, and he put the most faith in Saka. He did put a
And
lot of faith in
Martinelli.
Martinelli, where he came in, he scored all those goals, and he introduced Smith Rowe randomly, and also he also played Guendouzi. He gave Guendouzi a lot of game time, and we could see this boy was. We were more excited of Guendouzi than all the players that came through. Guendouzi, and we liked Torreira. Also, Socrates also came through. I mean, if we look at Socrates, he was a guy that was never going to get bullied. He wasn't the best tactical or technical defender, but he was a defender that you weren't gonna get past him. You're not gonna bully me. I will give away this. I will give away a foul, but you're not going to pass me. I'm not going to take any bullshit from anyone. That is the kind of defender that he was, and that was the kind of temperament that we needed, because it's the Premier League. You can't get bullied. I mean, if we look at our guys, what we currently have now, if we take away Gabriel, we look at Chambers, Holding, Mari, we see these guys getting bullied on a daily. If we play against any club, I mean, Mari got bullied against Brentford. He got bullied against Chelsea. Our guys couldn't even win headers against midgets. I mean, you understand. So Arteta got rid of a lot of guys that brought passion, that brought a lot of steel to the team. He got rid of Guendouzi. Guendouzi was a player full of passion, drive, excitement. Yes, he's got a bit of an attitude, but it's your job to manage
Fight.
these players. Your job
But
is
didn't, but didn't,
to
but
manage
didn't
a player.
Vieira, but didn't Vieira, Roy Keane,
Exactly. These are guys
all
that.
of those were big characters in the living room. I mean,
So,
they,
if you telling me if Arteta was managing Vieira, we would have not seen the guy after 10 games. You would send the guy out. The guy's not good enough.
I just want to come to a comment here from David DTV. Welcome, David DTV. I was in his show last week. It was quite fun. Guys, subscribe to David DTV, another Cape Townian YouTube channel. Because, like I said, support us as well. The Footy Express Show. Subscribe to our channel. He says, "We sold our soul and we promised to compete with Bayern Munich. Instead, we are now having the trust in the process as recently Project Youth. All are pure stunt. If you ask me to buy these, no vices time." Here's another one from Brad, which is a United fan. He says, honestly, I think Arsenal needs to make more signs for their team. They could sign one at Traore, which is a brilliant player, James Rodriguez, Patrick Bamford. I'm sure all these players want to move to big teams. Well, Brad, thank you for saying and still confirming that we're still a huge club. So, Bradwin. So coming with Una Emre, he came fifth in his first season. I think it was 1 point. 1 point we needed to qualify for the Champions League. I understand that we are in end of his season. We actually didn't do well for 4 or 5 games, if I'm correct. But we were sixth place before that. We ended sixth place with, I think, 8 points away from the Champions League with Wenger. But Unai Emre, for me, was an improvement after Wenger because we almost 1 point, we almost qualified for the Champions League. Why would you actually let players leave after that if we came fifth place?
Look, Unai was under pressure from the start because he needed to perform, and bringing him in, and the guy who brought him in just basically threw him under the bus. I recruit you, and then I'm leaving.
Then
So
leave.
he was under pressure then, and having to perform, and I was never a guy to shout any manager to be sacked or whatever, because you need to give Unai didn't have time. You need to give them time. Unai had 18 months, and having to get to that point, almost qualifying for Europe, and he lost it all. So you need to give that guy support. He didn't get the support that Arteta is getting now. Arteta is 21 months in his job. He's got all the support. He's got all the quality, or rather the ranks. He's now a manager. Unai Emre wasn't made manager. He was still the coach. So he didn't get that time. So having to get all that pressure and all that lack of support surely you're going to lose focus on what is really important to the team. I mean, if I don't get support from my boss, yes, I need to be confident. I need to have an objective where I want to go as a manager, but still, I need to have support from my boss, and he didn't get that, and therefore he failed. And also the pressure from a lot of fans that now saying we should have kept Unai Emery have said sack the guy because he's not performing. He had, I think, 8 games on the run, unbeaten, but before that he was more under pressure. So you need to make a decision, and the decision he's made is obviously to let players go.
Yeah, the thing is with Una Emre, the one that brought him to the club, I'm sure they had a project together. So he
Exactly.
left for AC Milan. So now that project is out the door. And now they brought in Edu, which the technical director of also football club. And he obviously have his own vision with Arteta, which
His own
a
project,
big
yeah.
club like Arsenal Football Club, the third best club still in England. I don't care what people say. We're still the best club in England, and we're still the most valuable club, eighth valuable club in the world. Even with all our problems. But football has changed for Arsenal Football Club. So obviously Edu brought in an inexperienced coach. Where Pep probably was on his CV Pep was probably his reference, you know. No, he's coming out of Pep's hand, and no, he laid out the cones for Pep. No, he's a good. He washed out the kids. I don't know what he did at Man City. It just looks, you know, he's sitting next to Pep, and if I'm a friend of yours, Wolf, I'm not gonna talk shit about you.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say no, he was actually a boychi. You understand, Ashraf? I'm not gonna say all that shit. I'm gonna let my friend get the job. I will say all down the roses, man. No, that
especially
man's good. Yeah, are
yeah,
you there?
especially after our beat you 5-0. I can't believe. Can you
It's
guys hear me?
embarrassing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
no,
can
no.
go for it. We're listening.
Yeah, no. I mean, I couldn't believe Pep's interview after they beat us 5-0. You know, if you watch that interview and listen closely, Pep said no, he learned. Arteta actually taught him a lot of things when he was there at Man City, and we should give him time. I'm like, bruh, yeah, YouTube can't be bad, but anyway, let me try to use proper English. I'm
But
like,
this is,
how on
yeah,
earth can Pep even also want to sell us this lie? And coming back to Unai Emery, all I'll say is no matter what you want to say, or who had the last laugh, who beat us in the Europa League semi-final, who beat United in the
Who?
final. You know what I
and you
mean,
still won it.
Emery had the last laugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, I mean with a team
Embarrassing.
made of, I think the only quality player in there, Pau Torres, and one of the strikers. And we come with our 60 million players, 70 million players, 3,000 pounds a week players that want to fucking just, they're more like Instagram promotional players or models. If they can perform half as well as they do on Instagram, bro, we'd make top 4 easily. Because that is the values that's being installed in this club. Go make promotional videos, go dance on the practice field. My bro, if Tony Adams was there, would he allow such shit? That's why we don't have leaders, man. We don't have fighters and people that can just get back to basics. When things go awry, when things go wrong, get back to basics and work from there. And I mean, I can't see that happening in the next months or next few weeks. And that is the sad part. You know what I mean? The optimism that I want to do. But I won't lie to you. I was optimistic. I actually thought we could hold City or draw with Chelsea.
For 10
But you know,
minutes.
they blatantly don't want to prove you wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look,
But
we all
so
have the
at the end of
faith,
the day, it comes
Ashraf. I
to the
mean,
captain of the ship. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
we
But
all
the
have that faith in
leadership
even
qualities, bro, Xhaka can't Xhaka can't be your captain. You weren't going to sell him. He was on the verge of going to Rome. Now they take Xhaka. Obama is not captain material. Lacazette is not. So first of all, who is our captain?
We don't have a captain.
A team without a captain. And I mean, we can
Yeah,
say
no.
exactly, bro. Just like we don't have a
You
coach.
know, that's true. And even with losing David Luiz, I mean, he was like captain material. He would like motivate the players on the pitch. He would lead by example. Yeah, he had his odd game here and there, but he was a good.
I don't
He was
think
a
he was
good.
that bad at Arsenal Football
Yeah,
Club. I
I mean,
don't think he was
I
that
rated
bad.
him. I watched him. He was a good motivator on the young players, and especially in the defense, you need an experienced head
He's better
when
than
you are
Wolfie.
leading. Yes, when you're leading a game 1-0 and there's 10 minutes on the clock, you need a guy like him in your defense. You need a guy like him, maybe that can partner Gabriel, that can help him, because the guy's got bags of experience. Now I'm looking at our defense, and you don't know who to trust. You don't know who. Lena doesn't know who to pass the ball to, because none of these guys can't handle the ball. They can't
But
handle
don't you,
pressure. They can't
but
turn with the ball.
don't you think that is because of coaching?
It's
Because the
it,
manager instructs us to play like that.
Yeah, but at
Yeah,
the
but
end of the day,
you gotta take
where,
it from yourself. You're a player. You need to. Yes, the instruction is play from the back, but when you're gonna make a decision, Martinez
yeah,
was a better decision maker than Leno. So you need to make a decision as you see the whole field on a wide. So we're gonna play the ball to you. See a guy behind him. So make a decision: either go long or get the ball away from the
immediately.
defense. So you need to make a decision on the pitch as well, even though your managers
Yeah,
do this, do that, do that.
Yeah, and if you now go back to the City game, yes, I do blame Arteta, poor tactics, poor team selection. But if we go through every goal, if we look at the goals, it was all mistakes. It all went down to mistakes. The first goal, we have a midget guy that's out jumping Chambers.
Yeah.
It would have been okay if that happened against Lukaku, no problem. Then I could understand. But the guys like half my size, that is down to basics. This is basic defending. It's the exact
Yeah.
same with holding. The ball comes into Jesus. He doesn't get one opportunity. He gets two opportunities in the 6-yard box to look up, control the ball, and to put it in an empty net. It's
Okay,
poor
so
defending. It's basic defending. Holding, and Chambers, they lack basic defending. It's about looking over your shoulder. All defenders are taught these kind of things. If you're ball watching, don't play football. Simple. If you can
okay,
look over your
so
shoulder and know there's a guy next to me, that is
yeah,
proper defending.
yeah.
I mean,
You're
we all
mentioning
watch
all
the
these things,
Italians.
Wolf. You're mentioning all these things, Wolf. Now, when it comes to this statement, now this guy, which I respected as invincible and as a player, this guy he has been at club. I think it's 4 or 5 years at Arsenal, right? This guy, he said, why are a few clubs around the Premier League just signing one or two players? It's because they already have a foundation. They already have a team prepared. I'm sorry, but the reality is we don't. So how the hell you telling and you have this marketing trust the process, but you're telling us in an interview that but the reality is we are not prepared. So what did you do for the last years at Arsenal Football Club? It's for me, it's sickening in my stomach to actually read this guy. He actually had to be fired. Imagine you tell your boss that you
Nigel.
here for 4 years. Sorry, man. The company is not prepared. The team is not prepared to take this company further. I will be fired on the spot.
Yeah.
Ashraf.
Yeah, Nigel, coming to the word that you used, prepared. We are the most unprepared team ever. If you know when does the fixtures get released? A week after the season ends, eh? We knew we were going to play Brentford. We knew we were going to play them at home. if you had 8 weeks with the under 19s or under 20s and fielded the under 20 Arsenal team, we'd have done better than that team that played that night, bro, because you'd have been prepared. We had, even though, okay, like I said, and Obama Young fell out because of COVID, Gabriela's injured, but we still had way better players on the field than Brentford, but we looked like rank amateurs. We looked like we got together the Monday before the game. Everybody came from their holiday and the preseason, and he just put out a team on Friday. So what were they doing during the preseason? What were they doing during the off-season? Who looked like the team that actually came up from the championship? We did, bro, because Brentford actually looked like they belonged in the Premier League. The way they played, they came with a settled team. Our team was 2-3 guys fell out. We did play with most of last season, and we were still shit. But I mean, how don't you prepare for the first game of the season, knowing that your second and third game is City and Chelsea, which in all reality you're gonna lose? So the Brentford game, that 3 points is vital.
No,
But
we won them 4-0 in the friendly.
unprepared. We came so
Yeah, but it's just
we're
that's just
3
another.
weeks too late. And I think Brentford played a B team probably.
And
Glenwin,
that's just
Glenwin.
another example of. It's just another example of Arteta being schooled by a championship manager.
Glenwin,
Simple.
what do you
Yeah.
think about the new players? If your director of football says the team is not prepared, what goes through that player's mind and saying, "Oh my word, I just signed for a team, the one of the best leagues in the world, and I'm playing for a team that's not prepared."
I think when it comes to being prepared, it comes from a point of where your planning should have been done. You are there since 2019, so surely you came in with a project, and having to get 6 players now this season, and all 6 players is the areas that we needed them. We needed midfielders, we needed a goalkeeper, we needed the right back. And having to make a comment like that is my team is not prepared to compete in the Premier League because of the foundation. So surely you were the problem. You were lacking building a foundation. Now you're leaving it up to the manager to build a team with no experience, with no a right-hand man that's strong enough to challenge him on decisions. I mean, that second in charge that Mikel Arteta has got no experience than Arteta has. So clearly that is a very, very low experienced team, that coaching and managing the team, and your technical director coming out and saying that we are not prepared, you should be fired. You should have long gone being prepared, because your first season in the club, you should have been prepared for that season. So 2 seasons later, you're still saying you're not prepared. So where did it go wrong? You made business, so you go on holiday while you should make business, but you're still not prepared. So making statements like that doesn't make any sense to where the team is going now. So yes, the players that we got in is potential players. It's players for the future. It's not players for now. There's players to build on. And having Lakonga in the middle with Partey now will show what he's capable of, because Xhaka should have been given away, not sold. He should have been given away. Right back, Tommy. He shows very promising on videos that I've seen, and he's 2-footed. So there's potential on those players, on those kids that came in, but it's not for now. It is to build. And I posted a comment from Alex Ferguson on my Facebook page, is where he said that you need to at least have 4 seasons to build a good team. And with youngsters, what he did at United. And he was challenged and say, but you can't win a Premier League with kids or with youngsters. And he went and he did it with the likes of Giggs, of Beckham, of Ferdinand, and the Gary brothers. I mean, so you need to have that plan going forward. Or when you start at something, when I started the job, I needed to know I am going somewhere. So my plan is to be prepared for my objective. So having to say that, you should have been fired long gone.
And now, so guys, viewers, Glenwin also got a channel.
Nigel, just wait.
Yes.
Nigel,
Yes.
just to a very good point that Guna made there. The young team under Ferguson won the league after a few, but remember, who did they have in polls? They had Schmeichel, they had players like Bruce at the back, they still had Palisters. Cantona was in his last season. That is how you bring youngsters and youth into the team. You bring 5 or 6 of them into the team. You know,
and you build them up.
Had guys like Kanchelskis who was pros. That's how you build them up. You can't start. You can't have 8 of them in the team, and then the guys who are supposed to be the leaders in the team as not even the leaders. So you can build a team, but who's going to build these youngsters up? Who's going to teach them the ropes? Who's going to teach them the tricks of the trade? So we bought Lukongo now, but we had Lukongo 2 years ago when we had Guendouzi. So now we're just starting with another fresh Guendouzi. You know what I mean? Guendouzi would have had 3 years experience by now. Salepa would have had 3 years experience now. You send the guy out on loan. Torreira could have been a very good. I mean, we're still sitting with El Neni, but then you don't want to play Torreira. Does that make sense? That makes no sense.
Arsenal rejected.
You want to play Salepa. I mean, you don't.
Galatasaray.
You don't.
The latest news about El Neni is Arsenal rejected. What the hell? What the hell is going on at Arsenal Football Club?
Yeah, it's a.
What the hell? I mean, why would you reject?
But then we sell Warlock. We sell Warlock.
This guy again. This guy
Warlock.
comes from Ashraf. This guy again. Edu, coming from a team that know how to win, Invincibles. If I look at him, it just makes me upset. Him and Oteta. I believe we need a squad to win games. We need a squad to win games. We need a squad to be in a good position at the end of the season, because it's not only about the first 11, this guy say, it's about the foundation.
I do. There's a lot of things that I do agree with what Edu says. Look, he does bring a couple of good points. He says,
but the foundation
he does understand. Yeah,
that's
as I should have said, the foundation was laid about when he came in 2019. So, the foundation, the players was there. If you look at, we have Smith Rowe, Saka, Willock, Niles, players that came in, Saliba, Guendouzi, we had Torreira, we had guys that came in. That was basically the foundation.
None of them are starting.
But
all of them are
you've got
alone.
Yeah, so there you gotta ask him. He needs to take blame. He needs to take a lot of blame. He made a lot of errors. Errors like to give William the 3-year contract. He understands. He never came out and said he made a mistake. It never worked out. He never said nothing like that. He just said that William was feeling uncomfortable, and then we decided we're gonna have to look for let's release him. You gotta simple mistakes. Giving the Shaka was giving his presentations in Italian. We gave the guy a 1-year contract. That is down to Edu. It's a mistake from Edu. We could have now been sitting. We could have now been sitting with a huge Humbasuma from Brighton. We could have gone and signed that guy. That guy's a mountain to climb. Simple mistakes. Allowing Martinez to go to Villa. I mean, we like you just said. Now we blocked Niles from going to Everton. We blocked El Neni from leaving to Besiktas. But why didn't we block Martinez? It doesn't mean if the player is unhappy. We could have still blocked him. We could have kept the guy. You gotta those questions of hiring a novice manager in Arteta. They were the guys who hired him. They were the guys now who didn't fire him after last season's shenanigans. They should have fired him. We could have been sitting with Conte now. We could have been sitting with Conte now, beginning of the season. we could have used that 150 million and given it to Conte. Just strengthen the team, bring in men, bring in guys that you believe can take this club to the next level. He never
But
did
now
that.
we're still
But
sitting with.
yeah,
Now we're still sitting with this guy.
he was sitting with him, and that guy's busy fielding players like Holding, Chambers, starting Kolasinac against City. That guy, he's the guy that sent Saliba out again on loan. Why couldn't he give Saliba a chance?
But
And
Wolf,
and
you don't
I
seem
read
to
now,
understand. He's the best manager in the world. He comes
I
out
just
of Pep's hands.
and that yeah, only Pep is singing his praises. And then I just read on your news thing that Saliba's having quite a good another good loan spell. So why can't the guy come into the Arsenal
He
team?
was
What's up?
he was
Because
called up to the French
the only
squad.
thing that's perfect about
It's
Arteta is his head.
ridiculous. It's like he's part of the spine, like Arteta says, a foundation. That is one of the foundational players.
Okay, so let's just check out Teta's Arsenal record since the first day he came at the club. You know what? I can't even look at the screen because he just upsets me. I'll just look at the writing. He angers me. You know what? I actually defended this guy because look, he was new. He won a trophy with Una Emre's players. With Una Emre's players that he signed. He won the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. So how do you sell or send players on loan that made you win a trophy? What? How stupid as a coach can you be?
That was
But
your
anyway,
foundation.
so
That is
that's
the
the
foundation.
foundation. So since the day he's also
He sold the foundation.
Arteta.
Now he's
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
Ashraf.
as
Yeah, so days
oh
at
no,
in
I
charge
said
of Arsenal
he
was
had a
a
foundation.
625. This is current, eh? This is current latest stats. Matches played 90. He only won out of 90 matches, he only won 48. Draw 16 and lost 26. Oh my lord. 26 more than Wenger ever won in 4 5 seasons at the club. I think 4 5 more than 4 5 seasons. Position last year, the first season he came 8th place. The season after that was last season. Again 8th place. Current position 20th.
Brilliant.
That is last, people. Matches played 3, goals scored nothing, goals against its minus is 9. Ashraf, tell me quickly, how is this man still Arsenal Football Club manager? We wait. We fired
Bro, all I can
Wenger.
say is
Before you start, we fired Wenger to improve Arsenal Football Club, but to be 10 times worse.
yeah, Nigel. At the end of the day, is now they probably just they don't want to admit they made a mistake, and so they probably just gonna. I can't see him lasting the whole season unless we improve drastically in our next 5 games. But it would be insane if this man still stays till the end of the year. Um, he's now signed, I think, in the last 2 transfer windows, about 15 players. So the team that he's going to put out come Norwich, it's Arteta team. Xhaka is still there. Xhaka could have left. He decided to keep Xhaka. El Neni could have left. He decided to keep El Neni. Kolasinac could have left. He decided to keep Kolasinac. He's still playing Leno. He sold Martinez. So come Norwich, the team that gets put out is his team. There's no hiding anymore. There's not after this. Whatever happens, if it's downhill from here, it's
We're
your
not
team,
gonna
it's
fire
your
him.
tactics. I mean, bro,
the supporters
give
will
me a
get him
word,
fired.
Nigel.
Look, you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Edu can say what he wants to say. Look, Edu, Eddie was asked the Arsenal community for patience. He's asked for patience. According to him, it is unacceptable. There is no excuses. But he says he wants us to judge the team with all the signings on the field. He wants to see Ben White, Gabriel, Tokahiro, Tenny, Saka. He wants all these guys on the field. Then he wants us to judge him. So we're gonna now. That's exactly what's gonna happen. As Ashraf said, we're going to judge the guy now on all these players. The 6 players that were signed. They will come into the first team, maybe 4 or 5 of them,
Oh, there they go.
because Tavares is a left back. So he's going to be playing with the full strength. And when the jury is going to be out the day that we play Spurs. Remember, Spurs is now high flyers. They're laying on top. 3 wins, new manager. They beat City with a new manager. So that game is going to be, the jury will be out to see if the guy's going to stay or go, but he's going to go. The fans is going to let the guy go. Trust me now.
Okay, so these are the signings that Arteta made when he became manager. I'm not sure if I've left someone out, but that is 11 players.
Rulerson.
That is the full squad. So look, I don't know. I'll probably rate. I won't rate 2 of them. The 2
one
players I don't
goalkeeper is
rate.
gone.
The 2 players I don't rate in this. I mean, this is 11 players. So, and none of them
Runerson
actually
is gone.
started together. Hey?
Runerson is gone.
No, he's not gone at the club, but he's on loan.
He's out
So
on loan, yes. He's out
Yeah,
on
but I
loan.
mean,
Yeah.
he's not playing this season now.
The only 2 players I don't rate here is Runerson, and I don't rate Odegaard. I'm sorry. I look, you guys can probably disagree, but I don't rate him at all. The guy was last year at Arsenal Football Club, and we still came 8th. So I don't see him. I don't know why we signed him. I really thought we were gonna sign Madison. I mean, that would be the signing. There's no wow signing here. I don't see anyone that can actually, make me excited about. It doesn't matter even if it was a young player. The guy from Inter Milan, that is a striker, he's also about between 21 and 25.
22 years
Yeah,
old.
22. He's a world-class striker for Inter Milan. That would have made me excited. But no one actually here. I'm still waiting for Partey to start the party. I don't rate that 2 players. Any one of these squad, you guys gonna have your say on each player, but before we actually sign these players, they are highly rated players. Even Suarez was highly rated at Southampton, and he was playing in the Portuguese team continuously with Ronaldo. What happened? All these players are not performing. I can't talk about the new signings. I don't know why they signed Runerson, because he's purely crap. What's his name? The new signing, White. Brilliant signing, brilliant player at last season. The guy comes with first game, he looked like a bloody 1 million signing. What the hell is happening? So that's why I want, for me personally, if I look at the squad, okay, besides Runerson and Odegaard, I think these players can bring us to a level where we can compete, but I don't think Arteta is the right manager to develop these players. So,
Yeah.
Glenwin, just have your quick
Yes.
say in each of these signings. How do you rate them? Do you think, who do you don't like?
Okay, starting with the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. Again, his potential. He did well at Sheffield United, and when he played against West Brom, he had a clean sheet. Started a bit nervy, but again, his decision making from the post is much better. If he knows he has to make a decision to go for the ball, he will go for it. He's not going to track back and make two mind. Randerson, because he's still a youngster, he doesn't have any experience in whatsoever big league. I don't rate him. Gabriel, what I've seen, he can score goals as a defender. He can defend. He's got pace. Also, but two-minded when it comes to making his decisions. I thought at time there was a better player in the Mari in that position, but Mari has disappointed in center left back. I mean left centre back.
And that
I
guy's
don't.
highly rated in Brazil, eh? Mari.
Gabriel.
Mari. He's highly
Oh,
rated in
Mari.
Brazil.
You
That's
know,
why
look,
we
I mean,
signed him.
Brazil and EPL is a vast and huge difference in the Premier League, in the leagues. So I think Mari had potential, and because he didn't have David Luiz next to him like last season, this time he made stupid mistakes and stupid decisions. Where he played with Luiz, he could make a decision because Luiz will keep him. Hey, don't do that. Come here, come there. Suarez, he should have left the club this season. White, too expensive for his performances so far. But look, we need to see what he's capable of going forward. I think him and Gabriel will start a partnership and try to kick off there. The left back backup, he's pretty exciting, pretty energetic. I think he needs to defend more than attack. He's well going forward, but coming back, he's lacking that tracking back a bit. So his defensive part of his game is lacking. Lokonga, I rate that he can become a Vieira type player. He's got that potential. He can pass a ball. He doesn't pass back. He just goes forward. So he's that link between the midfield and the attack. Partey has been more injured than anything else. So his ankles, he needs some new ankles there. Odegaard. Odegaard needs support, and I think he will get that support from Lokonga. Lokonga is that type of player that will want to see players going forward, and he will pass the ball into the gap. And of course, Tommy, the last player, Tommy. What I've seen on videos, he can play across the whole back four. He can play center back. He can play right back and left back, and he can play defensive midfield. So and he's 2-footed. So that's a plus to have. I mean, if you remember Cazorla is 2-footed, and he could change a game with any foot. And this is the same this guy can do. Having to see him fit into the club, that remains to be seen. But he looks like a player that can do quite a bit of harm.
Ashraf, who don't you like in this 11 players?
Suarez and Mare, and of course the Renaissance.
Okay, Ashraf.
Yeah, nah, I'll probably have to go with the same three there. Tomiyasu. YouTube as always, because when Pepe come to us, he looked like Ronaldo from what I saw on YouTube. But remember, they only show you 1 minute clips or 2 minute clips, so you don't know the world of.
They put the best
but
1 minute
once
clip
again,
together.
Yeah, I mean, we paid 20 million for him. I've never heard of him before, but we sell Willock. You know what I mean? We sell Willock for only 25 million. And he's English and he scored 8 goals, EPL goals in a row. You know what I mean? We at the moment we're paying way over what we should be paying. But then we can't sell. Or we're sending our players on loan. How on earth going to sell Guendouzi? Can you tell me that quickly? But then we're paying Ben White, he has to prove himself for 50 million. We bought Odegaard for 35 million. The guy hasn't played for Madrid properly in 7 years. If you look at the 14 games that he was at Arsenal, Emile Smith-Rowe outperformed him. Smith-Rowe got 4 assists and 2 goals. Odegaard got 1 goal and 2 assists in the same period. But we fork out 35 million for him, where we could have gotten Buendia, we could have gotten Neves at Wolves. I mean, we could have put the extra money with for Madison as well. So, I mean, we're overpaying and under-delivering currently. Ramsdale, I would put him number 1 immediately because Leno is just total crap. His decision-making is poor, and when it comes to crosses and for corners, he's non-existent. Look at the first goal against Brentford. What goalkeeper? Not even Wolfie would have allowed that. And I mean, Wolfie plays on Lentig here for a very good Leeds team. If a guy holds you like that from a corner, Wolfie, are you gonna allow that? You never. You're gonna elbow him, or
you're gonna pick him up and put him one side.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
poor goalkeeping.
And another thing with Leno,
you say Wolfie would have done better.
Slightly off topic. When it comes to Arteta, if he doesn't like a player, the player gets thrown out. So what kind of management style is that? That's poor. So if you have an argument with him, or he doesn't do something to your liking once, you're just going to be out of the team. Yes, you're out of the team. You're not going to play. So that is also something that he maybe has to work on from his side with it. And with these youngsters, you're going to get a lot of that. You can't freeze out half your squad, bro. So from this players, poor, Mari, Suarez, Ruderson, I have massive faith in Ramsdale because of his age. Gabriel as well. Tomiyasu, I'd love to see Tavares as a backup player, but okay, looks like a good backup player. Odegaard, I'm willing to give him a chance because, I mean, full season in the EPL. So he's young as well. He's a Norwegian captain, probably for a reason. Party stopping injured. And then Ben White, I mean, for 50 million, he's going to have to deliver.
I'm still waiting for the party.
He's gotten rave reviews last season. Sorry, Nigel?
I'm still waiting for the party.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so
I think we could have had a better party by you.
Season. Definitely. If Party and Tierney and Gabriel and Ben White can play a full season and Ramsdale can be instituted in Pulse immediately, I think we could turn things around, honestly. Because then you're looking at
Arteta as manager.
Team, you got a strong keeper. But okay, say the spine of the team is strong with Ramsdale, with Gabriel, with Party, with Ben White. You know, if that core of players down the middle can be strong, then we can be optimistic. They might even make Arteta look good. Make Arsenal great.
I agree there with the goodness about Ramsdale. I think he's close to. I mean, he is very close to the first team. A couple more mistakes from Leno, and I think that he will be dropped. He will be forced to be dropped. I mean, he does put a lot of his defenders under pressure, I must admit, and his decision making is poor. He's you know, like as Ashraf just said there, like that first goal. That the guy beat Chambers and he basically scored a goal on his near post, and you can't allow that. That's your area that you need as a goalkeeper. That is your bread and butter, your near post. And also, like, if you're going back into the City game, I mean, the header for me, he's got like jelly hands. I mean, the header wasn't even that strong, and he's like allowing a header to go in. I mean, for me, I think he just had too many chances now. I mean, Ramsdale is really good potential, and I think that he will do well if he comes in. I've watched him. Good prospect. Cedric needs to go. He's absolutely... Southampton actually gave him to us for free. in that game against Man City, he never had not one successful tackle, and and City they were bombarding us. They had like 80-90% possession and not one successful tackle. And you are right back, unacceptable. He needs to go. Mari's not good enough. Lakonga, good player. He's going to be a good player. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Same with Tavares, good left back. He needs to learn. He's got a lot to learn. But as long as Tierney's there, he can learn a lot of things from Tierney. Gabriel, solid defender, might be captain material. Let's see. I would like to see him and White have a run of 10 games at least. I mean, I do rate White. I rate him highly. He's a good defender. He does play well out from the back. He's cool. He's calm. He reads the game well. Last season he had quite good stats. I mean, as far as centre backs attacking into the final third, he was second to Harry Maguire. Strangely enough, of all defenders in the Premier League, he is successful forward passes into the final third. He was second in the Premier League, so he is a really good defender. It's just that he needs somebody to play with that can complement his qualities also. Partey, we all know what Partey can do. He was man of the match against Liverpool at Anfield in a good Champions League night. He has potential. I mean, he's a top class player. He is the ready-made article. It's just that we need a manager to get the best out of all these players. I mean, that right back that you guys are talking about, YouTube, he has quite amazing videos. He's got amazing videos. This guy's got amazing videos. I mean, the way the guy, what I saw is that the guy is unbelievable. The guy's running. He's got pace. He's got speed. He's got strength. He's got skill. The guy he even scored a couple of amazing goals. I mean, we saw a couple of pics of him controlling Cristiano and Ronaldo there. Both sides. You stand this side. I got the ball.
That is the most in the video. Every video is that one.
But the guy looks like he's an amazing talent. I just hope that I can see all these kind of things being injected into the Arsenal defense. I would want to see this guy. I want to see what this guy's about. I'm very excited to see this guy. So yeah,
so guys, this is a relegation battle match. I can't believe in my whole the time I support Arsenal, I would actually say that there's a relegation match happening with Arsenal Football Club. It doesn't matter. I can't remember that we were actually in relegation or even after one game. They said the last time Arsenal was in relegation after 3 games was in 1958. 1958.
And you got to understand
now.
You got to understand, Nigel, that we are the underdogs because Norwich they experiencing this kind of games. They are relegation candidates, so they come with bags of experience.
Yeah.
So the odds is basically in their favor. So yeah.
Yeah, no, look, our cannon is let's get blanks, my bro.
At the moment, it's an asthma pump. Difficult.
Glenwin, your score prediction. Not what your heart feels because you're also, be honest.
No, I'm going to be honest, but let me just do this quickly, Nigel, if you allow. We played City last week, and Norwich played City the previous week, and the scoreline was the same. And then they were more. The stats is almost very, very basic. We had 1 shot at goal, same as them. Had 1 shot at goal. We had 0 shots on target, same with them. We had 90% possession. They had 33% possession.
Whoa.
We had passes of 179. They had 362 passes. The accuracy was 84. Our accuracy was 67. They had 7 fouls, like we had 7 fouls. We had one yellow, 2 yellow cards. They had none. They had no red card. We had a red card. So their discipline is much better than ours. Their decision making based on that same stat against the same team. Yes, we had 10 players. 10 players. They had 11 players, but the stat is still. It
Actually
tells
had 10
you
players.
how disciplined they are. So my prediction, and I gave it to Morgan on last week's show, on the Arsenal show, was 1-1 draw. I stick to 1-1 draw.
So do you think after that 1-1 draw, do you think Arteta's gonna keep his job?
Look, Arteta's not going anywhere. In my opinion, that's my opinion. Arteta's not going anywhere because nobody else is going to come to the club. Nobody else is going to be paid what they are worth at the club, because our owners, or the owners of Arsenal, see Arteta as the cheapest option, and they can do with him what they want because of his experience. So he's not going anywhere for now.
I just got something to say on that though, Brad, because people say we're not going to support, we don't have the money for managers like Conte. But if you look at Arsenal spending, it's actually more what Conte was spending at Inter Milan, if I'm correct. Remember,
Yes, you are correct. Also, what is saying is that Conte is not going to come for Mickey Mouse money.
Yeah, but we spend more than
he won his first season. He won the league with Chelsea, but
we spend more than
the owner of Chelsea gave him money.
Seasons.
Sorry,
Glenwin, we spent more than Inter Milan in the last few seasons.
Yes, we did. But so our owners is different to their owners. I mean, the problem is our owners, Nigel. That's the problem. I mean, you can bring in a manager of Conte's experience, but they're not going to get anything from that owner.
Look, we can't say now because we spent 150 million. We can't point fingers now. We can't point fingers to the owners because we spent 150 million.
Look, you gotta understand. If you're without a job, obviously you're gonna settle for less in salary. The guy obviously he had a interview with Spurs. I don't know what was the story there. He declined. So the guy's now at the moment he's sitting on his couch watching whatever movies, Netflix, whatever. So if a big club like Arsenal should come, the guy will consider. If you are a manager of passion and you want to be working again, and you can sell him something good, or telling him try and get us into the European spots this season. We will give you guys. Yeah, we will give you money. We will fund you a couple of players of your choice. We brought in these young players. We need you to blood them. You can bring in experienced players to help these kids. I'm sure a manager like Conte will come to. We're a huge club. We can pay. If we could pay William 200,000-300,000 a week. Why can't we pay Conte? Answer me this. Why can't we pay Conte? If we could give a guy like William, if we could give a guy like William 200 to 300K a week, a 3-year contract, why can't we buy Conte?
Wolfie's
why can't we get in Conte?
It's just they're not going to make way with Arteta, because at this point they can do with what Arteta what they want. Conte is not. He's going to push back. If Conte comes in, he's going to push back whatever. I mean, that is why he left. He was sacked at Chelsea. He didn't keep his mouth. He pushed back because, I mean, you need to understand that the Cronkies, they want to control everybody that is under their employ. And a guy like Conte is not going to budge.
Score prediction.
Okay, I hear you. Score prediction. Look, obviously now the team is under so much pressure. Managers under pressure. Everybody's going to be there. The stadium is going to be packed. The people is going to be coming in with their knives and their batons and whatever. It's going to be a tough one. We can't. Arteta can't lose.
Give your score.
I'm gonna go with an easy 3-1 victory to Arsenal.
Easy. Okay. Ashraf.
Yeah, only because Arsenal is playing home, I'm going with 3-0.
Sure.
3-0.
3-0.
I
Yeah,
believe,
my
I
score
believe
prediction.
that we
My
will win this
score
weekend.
prediction. My score prediction for Saturday is 1-0 to Norwich. You know why?
Oh, you gotta be
It's gonna be a
joking me.
it's gonna be a low scoring game because Arsenal can't score at this stage.
I want this guy out. I'm being honest. I don't want him to succeed at Arsenal. I want him out. I wanted Man City to win us 10-0. If if he can prove me wrong, good luck. But I doubt it. I'm sorry. That people say about no, he didn't have his strongest 11. Bullshit. Bullshit about his strongest 11. Because we
He had a
couldn't even
stronger
win
11 than the players
Brentford.
that he put on the pitch on
We
Saturday
couldn't
last week.
even win a club like Brentford with Partey in it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
With
Party didn't
Aubameyang in it.
play. Party
With
never
our
played the
50
game.
million, 50 million signing of Ben White. We couldn't even win a Brentford. So how are we gonna win a team like Norwich that is a fighting team? Yes, we're playing home, but the Emirates never been a fortress for us. It's been a thumping ground for other clubs when they come to the Emirates. It's a laughing stock. I don't want him at the club because you know why?
If
He's
we
as
can't beat
boring as
Brentford,
comes. He's Arteta's so boring, though. It's like you're watching a movie. It's like you know the rating. The rating is 2 out of 10. But anyway, you're gonna watch it and you're hoping
look at that.
that's a good movie, you understand? But you know it's not a good movie because you've seen the
It's
rating. But you're
look.
hoping, you know? No, it's
It's
like that, man.
it's difficult.
He's just
Look at
boring. Look at him.
look look. It has been embarrassing. It has been embarrassing. The last 3 games, it has been embarrassing. But I just think we just gonna have to we're gonna have too much for Norwich.
Ah,
I think we're gonna run them flat. I think we're gonna run them flat Saturday. I think
look,
when we play, I think the games will be. It's going to be more difficult when we play Burnley, Brighton. That's going to be the challenging games for Arteta. I think this game is going to be an easy game for him. If he doesn't win this game, then I will eat. I'll eat my hat up. I'll eat my hat
There we
up.
have it. On next week's
I'll be
show,
honest with all the Arsenal
Wolfie.
supporters watching, with all the
I'll eat
Arsenal
up my
supporters
hat.
watching the show.
Honestly.
Guys, you guys know me long. Since probably the start of the season, I never watched an Arsenal game finish. I promise you. Because I know you remember the record. Sorry, before we go, we got at least about 5 minutes. Arteta's record is if Norwich scores, you guys know we're not gonna win this game because for the last 17 games going behind, we never won that team. So if Norwich score,
That's cool.
then I'm gonna go home wherever I watch the game because I know we're not gonna win that game.
Oh,
Tough
my
one.
word.
I think we need to bet against this game. I think I'm gonna win money on Norwich. Huh, Ashraf? You can win a
I
lot of
think
money.
I think Norwich is the favorites, so you will lose money.
Yo, that's even
Bet on
worse.
Arsenal. If you bet on Arsenal, you will win money. We the underdogs.
Hey, these
Now,
guys is under
Brad
so
says
much
here.
pressure.
Brad says here before we go, guys. Brad says, Wolfie, you are super confident.
Who's this Mandy? Yeah, of course. You got
Yeah,
to
Mandy
look.
says you're super
Yeah,
confident.
no,
Mandy says,
The
I'm
Chelsea
confident. I'm
supporter
confident.
telling you that.
No, she's Spurs
Mandy
supporter.
says
She's Spurs. She's
Arsenal
Spurs.
no,
No,
Norwich
it's
too.
Spurs, yeah, sorry.
Look, Spurs blow me everything. I don't want to talk about Spurs.
3
Well, guys,
1-3.
Arsenal
No,
won. Now it's
wow, oh
3.
gosh. It's the same guy that just he uplift us now. Now he's pressing us down. What's up with this boy?
The
Yeah,
guy's been
Brad, come
honest. I
on.
mean,
Come on, Brad. Come on, Brad. You guys got Ronaldo, man. Come on. You guys can borrow Ronaldo for us in this game. Yay.
once I almost signed players by Arsene
3
Wenger.
We're gonna win it 3-1. We'll be back on the
3-1.
show. We will win it 3-1. I'm telling you now, we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it 3-1.
3-0.
I think
One
so.
on
Here we
one.
go.
I think Mandy.
3-0.
I think if I'm checking the I think Mandy invited us for a game, a braai or something at the house. Let me just check there. Mandy's must now a Spurs. He says
Spurs, yeah, we can.
yeah, no, Mandy says, guys, you can what? I'm sure she invited us for the
26.
braai and supplying everything. Mandy. Yeah, here's it. We're waiting for you guys on the 26th of September.
Just-
Here we go.
Let's see if it's red or lily. Okay.
I
Hey.
trophyless season for Spurs. Shame.
Yeah,
It's just a heartache.
they're starting off well, but yeah, they like the rabbits. The Turtles will beat them.
At least they will get silverware in the conference league.
But guys, it's embarrassing
I
to be
doubt they'll
honest.
even
So
win that.
before we go, it's embarrassing. I hate it. Everywhere I go, everyone knows I'm an Arsenal supporter. Before they talk to me, they start laughing. Then I already know we're talking about Arsenal. They're not laughing at me, but they know if they see me.
It has been.
They don't. That was about Arsenal. So look.
It has been a tough couple of weeks. It has been a tough couple of weeks. I must admit.
Yeah,
It's
I've been
difficult.
fasting and praying. I lost it, but probably at least 10 kilos.
It's difficult.
So guys, hopefully we have a good result against Norwich on Saturday. Let's pray for the best. But for me, I don't like Arsenal to lose, but I don't want to see Arteta's manager. To be honest, any Arsenal supporter watching this game, you probably have your own reasons. There's people that want Arteta in because they feel that he's still the right guy. For me, I don't think so. Probably Wolf feel the same. But the problem with Wolf is Ashraf. Wolf says now Arteta out in Arsenal channel.
Look, no. Let's get things straight here. Let's get things straight. I wanted the guy out after the guy got schooled by Emery. I said you couldn't be in a job next season after that schooling. You couldn't be in a job. We finished 8th. It was no man. Look, my mind will never ever be changed. Even if we now win the next 4 games, the guy's not good enough. The guy's not good enough. He's just not good enough.
I rate Benny McCarthy, to be honest. This is not serious.
He's just not good enough.
I rate Benny McCarthy and Pitso Masomani better than Arteta.
This squad that we
opinion.
yes,
That's
look
Definitely.
Yeah, look at simple examples. Everton got a new manager. They got 7 points. Benitez. They got a couple of players in. Not a lot of money. They're scoring goals. They're winning games. Who's the other new manager? Spurs new manager. Bandy's daddy. Spurs guy. They are laying on top with a new manager, but it's all about experience. We need an experienced manager. We don't have an experienced manager.
Did we ever lay on top with Arteta?
We don't have an experienced manager. He's not experienced.
Did we ever lay
He should just go back to
with Arteta?
Yes, we did. With all the
Yeah,
teams
that was
that
a
Last
thing.
season we won our
I
first
mean,
2
in
games.
the hour.
Before the league started, we were top.
Yeah.
Before the league started.
with all the teams that beat
Remember
us.
last season we won our first 2 games.
Fulham, it was Fulham and another team, eh? Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, we signed William. The guy was
Yes, we
outstanding.
beat
in
Fulham the first
Fulham.
game.
Hey?
It's
But you know what? I
we,
respect William. I mean, I don't care if you're a billionaire. A billionaire will never let 20 million go out of his pocket. I don't care who you are. If you own 138 billion, he will never ever deny 20 million. Respect to that guy. I know he's didn't make it at Arsenal. He was quite brilliant for Chelsea the year before that, to be honest. And I think that's why we signed him and didn't work it out.
His
But I
best
respect the
season at
man and
Chelsea.
what he did. I mean, that's for me. He left in a good way.
Bruh,
I'm just ending off
if
players
you
like
cut hold
Xhaka.
of a Teta, wouldn't you? I would give up 20 million. I
I mean, even
No,
Niles,
no.
just to leave Arteta and Xhaka behind me. I mean,
even Niles
I
wanted to run
know
away.
Xhaka, bro.
I'll give 20 million away for to
Yes.
that's how bad it is. So guys, thank you very much for being on the Footy Express show.
Cheers, guys.
Viewers, thank you very much for watching. I know we over our time, but you know, when it comes to Arsenal, we got so much to say, so much on our hearts. I'm sure we can talk for 5 hours. But
Cheers,
more than
guys.
5 hours, nothing will be
Love you
solved.
guys.
Yeah, die.
Nice to
So
see
thank you very much.
Ashraf and Gunnar Glenn. Nigel, thanks for lekker show. Cheers, bud.
Cheers, guys. Nice meeting you, Glenn. Cheers.
Nice meeting you guys.